everyone, it's Stephanie and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about the BookTube SFF Awards Short Works nominees. These are all sci-fi, so they're kind of a new genre for me. I'm not a huge sci-fi reader. So what I'm basing my system on is overall enjoyment, how unique I think it is to me, and then how, like, the impact, like which one of these have really stuck with me and which ones have I kind of forgotten about after reading them. So the first book, or the first novella that I read, was The Test by Sylvain Neuvel, and I won't go really into the synopsis because it's a short work. But it opens with a man taking a citizenship test, thinking it's just going to be a normal day, and things just go into complete chaos. I enjoyed this book. It was different, but it definitely had me on the edge of my seat. And part of that may be just because I'm newer to sci-fi. I've seen a lot of people say that they didn't think it was anything new, or they thought it was kind of overly done on like the morals or the themes, which I didn't feel that way. But again, I'm not a sci-fi reader, so take that with a grain of salt. But I really enjoyed the questions that this novella brought up, and the whole time I was reading it, I kept putting myself in the main character's position. What would I do? How would I handle this? Which character would I be in this scenario? And if you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. I thought it was really well done overall. I really enjoyed the different perspectives that we have going on and how it all culminated at the end. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I've heard the audiobook is phenomenal. I just read it on my Kindle in one sitting, which I really enjoyed. Next, I read To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers. Again, I won't really go into the synopsis since it's so short, but it basically follows a small group of astronauts, and they're exploring potentially Earth-like planets. I really liked this. I found it to be really interesting from the start. I love anything space and astronomy, so I think that was part of the draw for me. And this is my first Becky Chambers work. I just really loved her descriptions of the planets and how they were all so different, and how the astronauts responded to all of this. It opens with a plea to the people of Earth because the astronauts need our help. And as we're going through this novella, we find out why, which I thought was really cool. I was really satisfied with the ending. I know some people were not, but I enjoyed it, and I really loved, despite how short this novella was, I really fell in love with the characters. This novella has really stuck with me, not because of any particular, like this one doesn't really deal with morals and things like that like The Test did, and The Test has stuck with me, but not in the way that this novella has. It definitely got me interested in reading more of Becky Chambers' work. So I gave that one 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the ending, and I just thought it was beautifully written and not overly complicated, and honestly I think it's a great intro to sci-fi. Last one is This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El-Mohtar and Max Gladstone. This follows two characters, Red and Blue, and it's an epistolary novel, which is written in letters or messages. They're going through time and space. I don't even know. I feel like I missed something with this. The writing kind of infuriated me sometimes because it would have such inane, like, dated lines, or say something like, well, as they say, blah, 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 YOLO, which irritates me anyway. But then it would have such beautiful, poetic language. So, for example, they pass among the dead, under chandeliers of shoulder blades, rose windows outlined by rib cages, metacarpals outline looping flowers. And just beautiful descriptions like that that really just bring you into the world and let you envision what they're seeing. And then you get lines like YOLO, and it just is jarring. The way this was written was different. I almost felt like it's kind of overwritten. While there were really beautiful lines like that, what it reminded me of is when I was in my intro to poetry classes, when we were just learning about poetry and how to really write it and convey what you want to say. All of us would write these over flowery poems, and then when you'd peer review them, people would be like, I wasn't really sure what you were going for here, or you had a lot of mixed metaphors here, and that's what this story reminded me of. I didn't enjoy it, and half the time I was so freaking confused. I don't like that because I was like, okay, just push through till the end, all your questions are gonna be answered, it's fine. And I did buy the relationship between the two characters, they fell in love, and I really did buy that and I enjoyed it, but my questions were not answered at the end. And at the end I just sat there and I was like, what did I just read? And I felt like I was missing something, and I don't know what I'm missing. I cannot pinpoint what I think I'm missing, which is really frustrating, but I gave this one 2 out of 5 stars. I think just based on what I've read from people who've read it, you either get it and you really like it, or you don't get it and you rated it really low. I love poetry. I write poetry. I've had poetry published, and I didn't get this. So I don't know if it's me or the writing, but I just wasn't a fan. I appreciate it for what it did or what it's trying to do, but I don't get why this is such a well-loved novella. While the test has stuck with me, it didn't make that big of an impact. Like, while I was in the story, I was like, oh my god, what would I do? What do I think about this? How would I feel? But then afterward, it was like, oh, that was really good, and then I moved on. But with To Be Taught If Fortunate, that one has really stuck with me, and I think about it a lot. I think about the planets they went to and how wonderfully written this novella was, and how it just pulled you into the story, and I didn't feel like I was missing anything, and I didn't feel like they were writing over my head. That's the one that's gonna get my vote. I gave it 5 stars. I will reread it again for sure, and I definitely think I'm gonna check out more of her work because I really did enjoy my time reading it. So, have you read any of these? If so, did you like it? Which one was your favorite? Let me know. I'd love to talk to you guys about it. As always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.